So today I have a scrap lift for you for Spiegelmom Scraps. Our Tuesday's talent, which is what we call our guest designer, is Missy Whidden. So we were asked to scrap lift Missy Whidden this week. I decided that instead of doing direct scrap lift, I was going to be inspired by some of the techniques that she uses, as well as her title on one of her design team projects that she did this month. So I'm starting with half a sheet, so 6x12 sheet of Basil Marshmallow cardstock. This is the cardstock that you don't need to prime or put gesso on. You can just hit it with all the stuff you want. It's really thick and heavy. And I have literally a buffet of mediums and things I want to use on this layout, plus a couple, or a stencil that has some snowflakes on it, because we are also doing a winter theme for Spiegelmom Scraps this month. So the first thing you saw me spray there was Pink Stilettos, which is a Shimmers spray. And this one that I'm using right now is Cotton Candy, which is a Shimmers spray, and I have busted the nozzle on it. So yeah, and then I've started to do this too with the paper towel, the whole roll of paper towel, and I gotta say I kind of love it. So the next thing I'm going to grab is Distress Oxide in Worn Lipstick, and I'm going to put that through my stencil, just at a spot. So this is going to look like a gigantic, huge mess, but I'll tell you all the different products I'm using through the stencil. So it was Worn Lipstick, Distress Oxide. This is Spun Sugar Dazzlers, which mixes with the sprays and creates this really light, fun pink snowflake pattern. This is Platinum Distress Paint. This is Foiled Again Dazzlers, which is a warmer gray silvery color. And so in case you haven't noticed, my layout's going to be monochromatic, and it's going to be shades of pink and silver and gray. And this is Pasties. This is Salt of the Earth Pasties, and I'm adding to it Roses Are Red Acrotones. And I'm going to just blend it together and make another shade of pink. I pulled all the pinks and all the whites and everything I could think of that I wanted to use. So I think this is my favorite of all the different mediums that I used. I love how the Spun Sugar over the pink turned out, and I love how that Roses Are Red paste that I made myself turned out. I think those were my two favorites. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a paper towel behind this so I don't get too much on my table. And I mixed that Roses Are Red with some water to thin it out nice to get some splatters. And now I've gone ahead and let that dry. And I'm going to take my circle cutters. So I could not use punches on this. I had to use my Creative Memories circle templates because that Basil Marshmallow cardstock is so thick. My punches would not punch it. I did try. My punches would not punch. And even, you can see here, even my circle cutters were having a little bit of a problem, but they just needed a haircut when everything was set and done. Excuse me. So now I have all of my circles done, and I'm inking everything up, either with Hickory Smoke or with Worn Lipstick ink. And just in case you're wondering, I listen to podcasts while I scrapbook usually, and I was catching up on Stuff You Missed in History Class, which is one of my very favorite podcasts. I love that podcast so much. It's so fun and educational. And yeah, sorry about that. I didn't put my my iPhone off to the side like I usually do. So this is going to be my photo. It is a photo of my niece that my brother just texted me one day, and she was so stinking cute. So, and the photo was nice, good quality that I could print it. So, yep, there we go. I went through my 6x6 paper pads and from my stash, and I just grabbed anything that I thought that would be nice, shades of pink or gray. I cut my photo down so I could mat it with a 6x6 paper pad. Not a ton, just a little bit, just so I had at least one mat that went all around the paper. And then I'm going to stagger the rest of the mats I'm going to use. And so I'm kind of going for pink and then gray and then pink, and then gray kind of thing. I end up with 3 mats. I think that's what I decided I wanted to do. So I have those 2, and then this 6x6 paper, I actually just decide, you know what, I'm going to use the whole sheet of 6x6 paper and just kind of place my photo and kind of off-center it. You'll see I'm kind of playing with it. I'm thinking about, yeah, and see, then I kind of put up here, and I'm like, yeah, I really like that. Okay, so that's going to be my photo. Initially, I thought that I was going to go down the left of the page, but then as I started to tuck these circles in, I am going to switch it to make it a diagonal design. So this idea of taking a piece of cardstock and really just playing on it and then cutting it into a shape is definitely something that Missy Whidden has done multiple times. She's stamped, she's done different things, and it's something I always thought would be perfect for me because I love the look of mixed media, but I want it contained a little bit more. I don't like I'm not a fan of like the messy look, which is fine. That's just my style. But when she did this, she's done this on a couple layouts, and I'm like, that would work so perfectly for me. I love that. And so yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to stick down all of these circles that I made. And now these are an old product from Spiegelmom Scraps, and Jody doesn't sell her felt shapes anymore, but it just so happened that I bought up a ton of them right before she discontinued them, and so I have lots and lots of them kind of hoarded in my stash. And I decided to use these gorgeous pink felt snowflakes, and these snowflakes, I think they were from last winter. And guys, I ended up using the whole pack. So yay for getting stuff used on pages and out of my stash. And yay for pink snowflakes because they're so, so, so pretty. So I'm just using my Scotch Quick Dry Adhesive and putting this on. And I need to tell you guys, this idea of like playing on a sheet of paper and then cutting it into these circles, I love it. I love how it turned out. It's such a great, fabulous idea. I definitely feel like it's something I'm probably going to do again because it was so much fun to do, and I just loved getting messy and not being worried about where things landed or how things went, and because when you cut them into circles, they just look perfect. And so I'm going to take some of these little offcuts from the 6x6 papers I used to mount my photo, and I'm going to punch a couple of circles and scatter them in around. I feel like there's just some empty spaces. So I'm just going to do that. And those are getting the Hickory Smoke Distress ink. I inked all the edges of all of my circles just to give them some dimension and some kind of pop them off the page a little bit. I am kind of in love with how this layout turned out, I have to say. So these are thickers from Pink Paisley's Summer Lights collection. And I thought that they would be fabulous with all of my silver and pink. They're really the only thing from the Summer Lights collection I truly loved. I had a really difficult time with that collection, just saying. But I went ahead, and this is the other part of my inspiration for Missy Whidden. This Winter Cutie is the title that she gave one of her layouts earlier this month, and I thought it was so cute and perfect. As soon as she did it, I was like, oh my word, I want that title on a page, and I knew exactly what photo I wanted to use too, so that worked out really well. So while this is not a direct scrap lift, it is definitely inspired by the fabulous Missy Whidden, and I think you can see that in the layout. So I'm just punching a couple more circles. I really wanted to give the look of fullness. I didn't want there to be any, like, some white space so you can see what you're looking at, but not a ton of white space. And I loved the diagonal design. Once I started doing it, I thought it worked really perfectly for this picture and for this photo. I'm just sticking down my last little bits before I throw sequins on my layout. So I'm going to use 2 different kinds of sequins. One is an older sequin pack called Triple Axle that has lots of different colors of snowflakes, and I don't think that one's available anymore. But the other sequin mix I'm going to do, actually the day I created this layout, I got all the new ones that were just released this past Wednesday. I got all of the new sequins. And one of the packs of sequins is called Wonderland, and it is gorgeous, and I thought it would be perfect for this layout. So I'm going to start with my snowflakes, and I'm just going to scatter them around my layout, and then I'm going to pull all the teal ones out because I just want the silver ones and the pink ones. And there's teal in these. There's metallic teal in there too, but I didn't want the metallic teal. So I'm going to pick all those out and kind of edit the snowflakes a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw the Wonderland sequins on there too. And you can see them. They're white and iridescent and there's little butterflies and they're teeny tiny. So I grabbed my son gave me French fries, as you can see, and then took them away. I'm going to go ahead and use, this is a silhouette pickup tool. I've had it in my stash for a really long time. And I generally don't use them, but I generally don't use it for sequins, but it just so happened that this day I felt like sequins, the sequins in the Wonderland pack were really tiny and there were little butterflies and I really wanted to put them on the layout in this scattered formation, but they were tiny. They were so tiny. So I used my little pickup stick to pick them up and get them glued down, and it worked out really, really well for that. And so now you see me shake my layout, which is what I do to make sure all of the sequins are stuck down. And here's some close-ups. Thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to check out those gorgeous Wonderland secrets and all the Shimmers products in the shop, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!